joining on YouTube, forgot to hit the go live page on YouTube. But I was just talking about how we're going to break down this freeze and then talk about the wildfire threat, which most of the state was under a red flag warning, meaning the increased fire danger yesterday and today. We do have one ugly brush fire out there. Just got an update from our community correspondent in the field, and he said that people are able to return to their homes going a certain direction, but that fire is not contained. It is 50% contained and 100 acres as of last check. Again, the fire crew that we heard from on News 6 at 6 live mentioned that it was 100 plus acres and 50% contained. Still at 9 o'clock tonight, that's the last update that I have. It's still 100 acres in size, and it is 50% contained. I think at 6, they mentioned it was 25% contained. So they do seem to be getting a better handle on that. Obviously, the wind was not helpful today. The dry weather, not helpful today. All of the above. The other thing is, and someone just mentioned about dropping the Northeast snow on it, ridiculous blizzard in the Northeast. 2 to 3 feet of snow has fallen. Places like New York City, Boston, into Rhode Island, now getting into Southeast Maine. Ridiculous blizzard up there. We can take a look at that a little bit later as well. 49 degrees right now in Orlando. We are at 43 degrees in Tallahassee. As those temperatures get ready to tumble again tonight, we are going to wake up to the 20s and 30s across the board. This freeze that is coming, it is not going to last as long. And it's not going to be as intense as the one we had, 2 weeks ago? So we're at 34 right now in Orlando. We're at 33 in Jacksonville. This is tomorrow morning, I should say. At the freezing mark in Pensacola. Fort Myers, we're at 39 to start. So it's another really, really cold morning. It'll be chilly on Wednesday morning. And then I think we start our warm-up over the next couple of days. So there you go. There's Thursday. That's going to be our warm day of the week. This is Tuesday. This is tomorrow, though. We're back to the low 60s in Orlando, 61 in Tampa, 61 degrees in Vero Beach. We're in the upper 50s tomorrow. Across the board, 58 in Tally, 59 in Jacksonville. That's where we stand. By Thursday, feeling oh so nice again. So again, this is a very short-lived round of colder air that is coming through the pipeline. Even warmer on Friday across the board. What's going on, Kimberly? Yeah, there's a fire to the west of Daytona right now. Yeah, 29, I would say for you. I think most outlying areas get into the low 30s. So I think you're in the upper 20s for sure. For tomorrow, or for tonight into early tomorrow morning. This is a pretty unusually cold winter in Florida. This has been a cold one. I think it's going to shake out to actually being above normal. But there's been just these rounds of intense cold. We're going to check that out. We'll go through the numbers. Winter officially ends on the 1st of March. Well, the 28th of March. Meteorologically speaking, we keep the seasons in just 3-month increments so that we can always keep good record keeping. So astronomical spring, of course, begins in a few weeks. Meteorological spring begins on March 1st. So we'll close the record book officially on winter on March 1st. So that's where that will stand. And we will, no doubt, go over those numbers. We've been crunching them. We were actually above normal a couple of weeks ago. So I'm anxious to see what happened in those 2 weeks whenever we crunch the numbers at the end of the month. And that'll no doubt be a topic on the show as we get going there. Jennifer Summerlin's asking if there's any shot of rain soon. There is, but there's a caveat. I have to get my first break in, so we're going to touch on that after the break, and then we're going to take a look at the Northeast blizzard, which has been out of control. We're taking a live look tonight in Boston, by the way, as well. They are buried, and then also Holopop, not buried, just chilly. I'll see you guys in about 3 minutes. Alrighty, guys, welcome back on a Monday night. There's some great questions in the chat. So Jody's asking, how long will this fire danger last around Orlando? Unfortunately, it's going to be a while. In terms of the heightened stuff, because of the low relative humidity in the wind, it will get a little better tomorrow. That is just on kind of the other ingredients. But for how dry we are, this is probably going to last weeks to months until we get into the wet season. So it's going to be critically important that everyone's making sure that they are doing their part and listening to the burn bans and all that stuff. So the heightened fire danger on a daily basis, when you factor in the wind and the relative humidity, it gets a little better tomorrow. Everything's still bone dry out there. And even with rain coming through, we saw last time that an inch and two of rain, the drought got worse. So that's just how dry things are. And again, we talked about this after Florida freeze, the big one. I'm going to make that like one of those sci-fi movies, like Sharknado, like Florida freeze, the big one, Florida freeze, the sequel. This is like our fifth one though. So we're on this is part 5 of that movie. But we do have some rain in the forecast. Now, I mentioned before that there's a caveat because whoever gets the highest, it depends on where this front is actually going to stall. So this is on Friday. We start to introduce rain chances back into Central Florida. And you see the rain kind of sliding through. There's midnight, early Saturday night, or late Friday night into early Saturday morning. And then you see it kind of go down towards the southern part of the state. It's all going to depend upon, to get the really nice amounts of rain, where that front is going to stall out. And where that front stalls out will mean someone gets a decent amount of rain, because there's going to be we're tapped into this moisture source. So this is kind of rainfall over the next 7 days. Really, it takes the amount into consideration. Well, it takes the amount from day one today, which we're not getting any rain today, and then over the next 7 days. So the period here is going to be Friday through early Sunday. That's the time frame that I'm looking at for the next shot for rain. And anywhere from about a half inch, maybe a little bit more than an inch in that area, we'll take it. It will help on a very brief scale, like what we saw last time. But again, 2 days later, we got bumped into the extreme drought through Central Florida. So we need every other day of this to get out. Every other day of this to get out of the drought. It's gonna take a very long time to get out of this drought. We should be dry through Thursday. We are dry through Thursday. Temperature in New Smyrna Beach in the 30s tomorrow. But we should be dry through Thursday for going out. Free Thinker, if you're still with me, he says, Jonathan didn't cover the pipes this time. I'm in Winter Springs, Castleberry, Oviedo area. Do you think it'll be okay not having done so? I do. I don't think this is a pipe covering cold like the last time. You really need about 6 hours, give or take, to be below freezing to have your pipes affected. I think Oviedo, we are right on the cusp of getting to 32 degrees. So I think most of the night stays just above 32. So I think long story short, I think you are good to go without taking care of your pipes this time around. Even if you're getting down into the 20s, you're only going to be below freezing for a few hours. We were below freezing the last time, 8 to 14 hours. And that is whenever you really have the problems. You need to get down into the low to mid 20s, which we were. Tonight, we're getting into the upper 20s and low to mid 30s. So quite the difference. This is still cold. And again, if it wasn't for last freeze, we'd be talking about tonight being the coldest. We'd be talking about this being the coldest in years. So this round of cold is significant. It's just not as significant as what we had over the past couple of days. And again, that warm up is going to come once we get toward next week or towards the middle of this week. Last gasp here of this big blizzard ongoing. It's still snowing in Boston um, toward New Brunswick, towards Nova Scotia, toward Maine. That is where the heavy snow is at this point, and that continues to peel away. But look at some of these numbers here. Let me turn my little eyeball on, and that's the storm reports that should start to populate, but there are many in here. And I was talking to some people on the other weather channel, the main weather channel that I have. It's called @just_weather. If you're interested in that, if you love talking about the weather, you can go over there and subscribe to that. I can put that in the chat. Free thing. Did I say something? I didn't. Sorry, I didn't even realize. Sorry if I did not even realize that yeah, I don't know either way. But thank you. So we have a nightly weather chat over there. And we were talking with some people in Rhode Island that they had record snow in and around Providence. Look at that. There it is. Yeah, that is 36 inches of snow. 36 inches. That is 3 feet of snow in and around the Providence area. Just absolutely bonkers. 37.9 inches of snow. That is an official report there coming in from the airport. That's crazy. That is so much snow. Plus it's blowing around. I'm sure there are snow drifts up there like 6 6 feet. I don't have a cold. I don't have a cold. Just a little congested with the chill. That's all. Don't have a cold. But thank you. It's gonna be nothing like this next week. I think just a couple of inches, depending upon where exactly you are. But it looks like that stripe of snow is gonna come down like upstate New York, maybe go down toward Boston, Rhode Island, and then settle out over to there. So maybe a couple of inches of snow coming your way in the extreme northeast. Alrighty, guys. I blew up. I blew past my break. I had to get this break in, then I'll come back. I will comb the chat for more comments and questions, and I'll see you guys in just about 3 minutes. What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you. Have a couple of minutes because I am leading the 10 o'clock news tonight to talk about the cold coming down the pipeline. So I have to get everything queued up and make sure that I'm on TV. It did snow in Virginia. Here are some of the storm reports coming out of Virginia tonight. 7 inches in northern Virginia, closer into the mountains, though. And then it's snowing right now on the southwest side. Grayson County, 0.3 inches. So that is where they got the snow there. To answer Jennifer's question, maybe in early March, there's a little bit of an indication that it's going to get chilly again. I don't know if we get back to a freeze, but it might be close. You see there, this is Monday, March 2nd, by the way. This is the core of this should start to be right across the northern tier of the country, maybe into the mid-Atlantic. But there you see there -3. That's the departure from normal. So it's nothing crazy that wouldn't put us into a freeze. But I'd be watching for maybe the first couple of days of March that we can, in North Florida anyway, flirt with the freeze. I think we're probably done in Central and South Florida, but North Florida, we might be close enough to it where that freeze still might be there. So we'll be watching in that 10-day period. It might get chilly again as we welcome March. So hope that answers your question. Alrighty, guys, I have to run. Have to get ready for News 6 at 10 o'clock. If you're sitting there all bundled up in the lazy chair tonight watching News 6 Plus, that sounds like a dream evening for me. Keep it right there. We're going to have the news coming up. We're going to have the latest on a bunch of things that we're working on, including that brush fire west of Daytona Beach. It was kind of ugly. Evacuations had to happen. They're letting people slowly get back into their homes. So we're going to have an update on that. And, of course, on how cold it gets in your neighborhood coming up on News 6 at 10. I'll see you in a couple of minutes and right back here in this chair at 10 o'clock. 9:30. It's 10 o'clock right now. I'll see you guys tomorrow or in a couple of minutes. See you guys.